circle, puts the shot in the air. Good! The game's over, and the Bulls have won.
This is the Notebook Wagering Show on the Wylde Style Network. Here are your hosts, Q, Smitty, and Matt.
Hey, it's Thursday night. Notebook Wagering time. I am Smitty. I'm in studio. I got my man Nails up in Pittsburgh, and we got a special guest. We're going to introduce him in a second. Hey, Matty, how was the holidays for you? Did you have a great Christmas? Did you have some eggnog from last week? Did you watch Christmas Vacation after last week? Did you break that all down?
I didn't watch any Christmas Vacation. So, a little fun story. Our Christmas morning starts off at Jac's Bar in the south side of Pittsburgh at like 9:30 in the morning. We get a bunch of random friends down there. Everybody has a couple drinks before they go out and do the family stuff. It's a great time. It is the best dive bar in Pittsburgh. Get on there, you have a White Russian, some eggnog, a Bloody Mary, shoot the shit with some friends, open up a couple fun gifts, and then get on your way back home. I did have a good Christmas. We run around a little too much, but that's all part of the holiday hubbub. But let's go. We got football on tap tonight, and then college football. One of our great friends is on tonight, so fire it up, Smitty.
Yeah, let's get after it right here. We have one of our really good friends joining us with the audio here tonight. We got Carl Johnson, Jic Jac Johnson, joining us. Carl, how are you doing, my friend?
Hey guys, what's going on? Merry Christmas. It's been a while since we've talked. I think we've texted a few times, but it's good to be with you guys. I'm proud of what you guys have done. I mean, that studio looks phenomenal. What kind of year you guys have had? So it's been good, and we're glad to be with you.
Yeah, we're so excited. We're coming up. I'm just going to say this. We're coming up on year two in studio, and we're very pumped, man. Me and Matty right now are very excited to be with Wylde Style Productions and being back for another. We got a big year ready to go for year two here with Notebook Wagering here. So we're very excited. So, hey, Jic Jac, let's dive in, man. These bowl games are insane. I mean, they're insane. I've joked and said I think it's easier to take like an SAT course or a test to get in college than it is to pick these games here. And I'm going to throw this out for everybody. So I gave out a couple plays, and the social media is great on X. I had a tough one. I played the 11 a.m. game, BC SMU. I played the under 23.5. Just for the audience, I'm out walking. I got my mile in. And then I took my dog, and then I was taking old man in the garage's dog out, and it was 7-3 with 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Everything looked hunky-dory. Everything was great. Next thing you know, it was touchdown BC, 8 seconds, touchdown SMU, and I'm a big loser. So that was tough, and I'll give out some of my other ones that I shouted out, but it's very hard. Overall, Jic Jac, what's your opinion so far on the bowl game action?
Yeah, I mean, look, this year in particular, as opposed to all the other years that I can remember, this has been the most difficult. I mean, when we started the bowl season, I think December 16th, I think was the first actual small little bowl game. So you had 296 players in the transfer portal for these bowl teams. And, it was just, it's an absolute nightmare. I mean, it continues to be the most difficult bowl season booking wise that I can remember. And you still don't know, even though we got some really big games coming up, first of the year. I mean, I don't think, those four teams have, players that are going to miss, but you don't know it for sure. So, it's been really difficult. I'm glad that the playoff system is going to kick in next year. But from a better standpoint, I'm disappointed with the way the bowls came out this year. It's pretty difficult to book, and even more difficult to bet, I think, just not knowing.
Carl, would you rather wrestle an alligator for $100 or bet one of these bowl games with your mortgage on the line?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to bet I have wrestled alligators before, but I am not betting these bowl games. That was back in my younger, crazier days. I mean, we used to go what they called alligator surfing, Matty. You could, now we wouldn't jump on anything big, but a little 4 or 5 foot alligator, you could jump on his back. He'd be swimming right next to the boat. You could jump on his back, and when you roll him over, you can put them to sleep. You rub their belly, and you can put them to sleep. So I did that growing up as a kid. I won't do it now. I'm too old to fight. But, it was I'd rather wrestle an alligator.
I knew you'd have a good swamp story in there. That's why I threw that in there.
Hey, I just got to make fun of myself here. It's you're getting older when you have to text your producer in the middle of the show and say, can you make the font a little bigger in the chat room? My eyes, dude, are so bad.
Yeah.
It's getting bad. It's readers are coming. Readers are coming. Hey, Scott, thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate that. Hey, Ken, thanks for joining us, man. Bowl season so far is very boring, he says. Yeah, go Big Blue. We're going to get into that here in a little bit. Okay, so let's dive in here, Carl. We're going to try to get your expertise with some of these, your thoughts and opinions on some of these games. And I know myself and Matty are pumped for the one at 5 p.m. Monday afternoon. So, hey, let's dive in. We're only going to hit 2 before I mark down here. One tomorrow is a big game. Missouri's playing Ohio State. You got 9 against 7th. Missouri, a very good team, 10-2. Ohio State's 11-1. Very good teams overall. Now, again, Harrison Jr., it doesn't seem like he's going to play. He's around. Quarterback from Ohio State has left. You got Brown that's going to quarterback here. Henderson's going to play. Jic Jac, let's go with you here, man. Any leans, any thoughts overall on this game tomorrow night?
Yeah, again, here, this is what we've been talking about. I mean, you got football teams that have depended on certain players all season, and now all of a sudden they don't have them. So that's the most difficult thing. Now, as far as picking sides here, there's just no way that I don't feel like I can pick either side and have an edge. What I do think is that these totals end up being vulnerable. And if you watch bowl games, you see the tendency that they drag, the longer the game lasts, the more opportunity to score points. So in this particular game right here, I think the edge, if you're looking for an edge, I think it's in the over, which is a total of 49. So that's the way I would look at this game. I'm not going to bet that. But if there's an edge at this game at all, it's in the total.
Matty, any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I think Carl's right. The problem is with this Ohio State team, they keep saying that these guys are playing, but some of them still might announce they're jumping in the transfer portal or they're going to sit. I don't know if Harrison has even said if he's playing or not, and I don't know why he would. I think Missouri can really hang in this. They have a great quarterback, a really great running back, and a great wide receiver. So I think that plays under Carl's over, especially if the Ohio State skill players play. Like if Henderson plays and Egbuka, I think this could go easily over. And Missouri's not like a lockdown defense, and neither was Ohio State this year. The problem is who's quarterbacking for the Buckeyes, and can he get it done? But I like Carl's suggestion to look at the over here.
Yeah, right now I'm looking at scores and odds. It's -3.5 for Ohio State, 49.5. Yeah, you look at this Missouri team. It's a very hot team coming into the game. Great season. Cook, I think it's Schrader, the running back. Unbelievable season by that kid. And they got a really good wide. I think it's Bird in the wide receiver. Now, like I said, Henderson's going to play. Harrison's been there on some practices, but he's like riding the exercise bike on the sidelines. There's no way. It just does not seem like this guy's going to play. Brown's only attempted 22 passes this year. So that's the question. But this is a spot. Can Ohio State, this is a big game for Ohio State. I mean, you keep losing to Michigan. This is a game that they got to get. Missouri's having an unbelievable year. You know they really want this game. This one's a tight one. I'll tell you what, I'd probably take the points, and I'd go Mizzou in this one. I had it with, hey, I'll be honest, I had a teaser. I jumped on Louisville right away when the bowl games got announced with this Missouri game, and that didn't go very well last night because the Cardinals got smoked by USC. I mean, jeez Louise. A guy throwing about like 7 touchdown passes. Go ahead, Jic Jac.
He's still throwing touchdowns.
Yeah,
no, what I was gonna say, Smitty, was like you said that you had a teaser like it was a shock or something like that. You're a teaser team, Smitty.
Hey, Carl, I don't lose teasers, man. I don't lose teasers. So, hey, let's get rid of this one. Let's move on here. Okay, here's one. We got a lot of people that are big Penn State fans that listen to the show. And again, I grew up right by there. I even interned in the athletic department there. We got Ole Miss, Penn State in the Peach Bowl Saturday. You got Ole Miss 10-2, Penn State 10-2. Boys, here's a couple things with this. Big game, James. Can he get a win? Here's a good one I'm going to throw out. I got this off somebody, and I can't remember who. I wrote this down on my index card. The over is 6-2 in the last 8 games James Franklin has coached in a bowl game. They did beat Utah last year in a bowl game. Can they get a big win? I'm a little shocked. Earlier today, this one went up to 5. Now, a lot of Penn State guys are there. They're playing. Some guys are going to the pros, but they're sticking around, and they're going to play in this game. So I'm going to go with Jic Jac, man. Where's your thought process on Ole Miss, Penn State?
You know, I'll be honest with you. Out of all the games in the bowls, I think this could possibly be the best bowl game of them all. You know, both these teams are well balanced. I think it's a great matchup. I know Lane Kiffin wants to win, and I think Penn State is phenomenal. Penn State was one of my favorite teams all season long, and I don't follow those guys much, but I was very impressed with that team the last couple of years, actually. You know, not a lot of movement here. I mean, we opened this game Penn State 4-48.5. And, you know, just right before we come on air, we're at 4.5 and 48.5. So not a lot of movement. It's getting some action just because where we're located. You know, they're betting us Ole Miss here. So we'll need Penn State to cover here. But I think this is going to be a good football game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring football game. This is another one where I would tend to lean over on the total. But a good game here. It could go either way. So we'll see.
All right, Matty, what do you got? I know you chimed in this game last week on the show. What do you have this week? You going to stay with it?
Yeah, I am staying with it. I'm staying with Ole Miss, money line underdog play here. The one outlier, though, is Penn State is 9-3 against the spread, which is a really great number. And when you see that, you're thinking, man, 4.5 is a pretty sweet number. Smitty, I think this is perfect for your teaser play. If you just actually take Penn State down to, you get a better number, just take them to win. But I'm going to roll the dog. I like Carl. I think Lane Kiffin wants this more than James Franklin. I think Penn State's defense, though, is the equalizer here because they have some guys who are going to go first round. And I think their talent on that side of the ball is just as good as Ole Miss's on their side for the offensive side of the ball with Jackson Dart and the wide receivers. But I think Penn State's offense, if they can run the ball, is the better play. So I think Penn State probably ekes this out, but I'm going to roll Ole Miss money line for a little fun.
Yeah, I have down. I like the over. I'm kind of with Carl on this. That was my, Matt, I kind of agree. I mean, come on now, people. Am I going to take Penn State ever? Everybody always bashes me on social going, this, you never take Penn State. No, I'm not going to take Penn State. I mean, you're going to get it 4.5, 5 with Ole Miss. I'm going to take a chance with that. I think SEC's better. Now, in a second, the better Big Ten teams coming up here in the next game we're going to talk about. But I like Ole Miss in this. I take the points with Ole Miss, and I do like the over. Here's the reason why I like the over, guys. No Manny Diaz. He's gone. He's going to Duke. I just think you do have offenses here that can score. I think Penn State's going to put some points on this defense. This defense does give up some points. And I think this Penn State offense can score against some average defenses. I think Ole Miss's defense is average. I think they're going to score. I do think Ole Miss is going to score too. I like the over. I'm with Jic Jac on this one. Take the over in that Penn State Ole Miss game. Let's move on. Monday. This is where it's at, fellas. Bama, Michigan, ESPN, 5 p.m. Rose Bowl. You got Bama 12-1, Michigan 13-0. All right, Jic Jac. You're a Southern guy.
Yeah.
Are you going roll tie here? Or are you gonna stay with my team and Matty's team up north, way up north? What do you have in this one?
Okay, well, so look, I'll give you a personal point of view, which is if I was on the other side of the counter. I'm a Nick Saban fan. I think Nick Saban's the best football coach in college. Let that be known. So, but I can tell you, this game, the way this game has been bet, and really, to be honest with you, we get bet Alabama money all the time, every week. So that's not the shocker here. But about 4 or 5 games every year, it seems like the books will take a position, okay? They'll gamble a little bit. So I can tell you that all of the money has been coming up on Alabama, and it's pretty much like that all across the country, with the exception of the regional books in Michigan and things like that. And I can tell you that when you see that happening and you see a stale line, this line hasn't budged. We opened 1.5, 44.5. We're at 1.5, 45 right now. When you see that happen, it means that the books have taken a stance. They like the money flow. They like the money flowing in on Alabama, and there's a reason. So I'm not betting the game, just for clarification, and I'm not advising anybody to bet the game. But I think that Michigan, just based on the way that this game is being bet, I think Michigan wins this game handedly. That's what I think.
Holy smokes.
Listen, what a great guest we have right here. I love it. And just everybody, I had to pay him to say that. No, I'm just joking.
No, you didn't.
I'm joking.
No, you're not joking. I think we both paid him to say that because that's what we want to hear. All right, Carl.
I've just seen it before. I might be dead wrong. I've been wrong before, but you watch what I'm telling you. It just is not going to be a shocker if Michigan just doesn't beat these guys by 30 points.
All right, Carl, I'm going to fire some stuff at you here.
All right.
Because I want to buy in what you're selling, but somehow I can't. And I feel awful that I'm now enrooted with the general public and the betting side. So better coach here, Saban, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, better quarterback, Milroe or the Michigan McCarthy?
No, Milroe. The better skill players, totally Alabama. I'm with you.
Okay.
Defense is the problem for me.
Okay, so Michigan strength is running the ball. They do have good skilled wide receivers, but McCarthy is kind of a check down completion guy, which helps Bama's D. So Bama limited Georgia to 78 yards on the ground, and I think Georgia is probably as good a running team as Michigan. Michigan O-line ranks 53rd nationally. Bama's D-line is better than that. I can't find where the public is wrong here. And I am a huge Michigan fan, but I have a bet on Alabama money line to win this. I'm hoping you can keep talking me off this, and I can go the other way too.
I don't want to talk you off of it. I'm not saying that you're wrong at all. I mean, if I had to if I didn't see firsthand how this game was being bet, Matty, I would be betting Alabama myself. I just would, just for the same reasons that you just said that.
I'm like,
my opinion is based on what I am seeing.
yeah,
The experience that I've been through this before, that when I see it like this, it usually means one thing, and it's not good for Alabama.
For all the people though who are listening and betting, what if the play is this potentially? What if because you like Michigan to roll, what if you find one of those alternate, not even an alternate line, but a win total, like Michigan to win by 10-17? Would that sit okay with you if you get like a plus 600 number or something on that?
Yeah, absolutely. To me, that's what I would look for.
Okay, I'm gonna take a peek for that. I'm gonna make sure I keep messaging you. You can talk me off the ledge, and you can talk me onto this Michigan line because I want to bet.
Hey, I love it. I mean, and here's the thing, and I've said this before. Michigan's my team, and I'm gonna bet this. I'm not gonna go crazy because I'm gonna bet Michigan. Now I might go a little bit more, but I do have a ticket on Alabama. A little pizza money to win over 300 national championship. So, and I've said this to people already. I've said it on the show. If Michigan loses, all right, I'm the biggest Alabama fan in the finals because I did that and I got it in beginning of October. I took a chance. I thought Alabama had a really good chance getting back into this Final Four, which it played out well. So I'm going to take a chance with this. So I do have a ticket on Alabama to win the national championship. A little pizza money to win over 300 on it. So here's the key to this. You can't get down. McCarthy does have to play well. You can't do what he did last year. You know, they're 0-2 in the playoffs. You know, he did go 20 out of 34, 343, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, but he got down. They got down. They can't get, TCU last year, they gave up 50. The tackling wasn't good last year. They got it play. 2 years ago when they lost to Georgia, I mean, come on now. Georgia was just a better team. They should have beat TCU. Can they win this big game? I've been saying it all year. They got to get in this game. They're in it again, 3 straight years, but now they got to win. They got to get in at least the national championship game. You got to get Milroe. You got to contain him. You can't let him run all over the place. Got to make him throw. I've liked the kid all year. I've said he's the Jeff Blake. He throws that great deep ball. If you remember the great Jeff Blake out of Cincinnati Bengals, I love his deep ball. I'm on this kid. The kid's an unbelievable freak, I think. Going to be a superstar. Great coaching staff. Now, what Jic Jac said also, it's tough. You give these guys a month. It's tough to give Saban a month on a team. And I do agree with you, Matt. I think he is a better coach than Harbaugh. I do think Bama maybe has better talent. The speed has been an issue. You've seen it over some years. I think you saw it last year with TCU too. It scares me. I do think Michigan, though, with all the suspensions and all this still talk, it's a tight-knit group. These guys came back for a reason. The key is J.J. McCarthy. Get him moving a little bit. Run him. If you look at some numbers, Bama has struggled against running quarterbacks. Get J.J. moving a little bit. I think Michigan wins a tight game. I'm going Michigan. All right, boys, let's move on to the 8:45 in the Sugar Bowl. Washington, Texas. Texas 12-1. Washington 13-0. I think this one's going to be a shootout. I mean, I can already hear Jic Jac saying this could be a shootout. So, Jic Jac, take it over, my friend. What do you have in this one?
Yeah, I mean, so look, they're betting us Texas here. Washington, from a book standpoint, Washington to win the national championship would be our best case scenario, which that should be no surprise. So, but hey, look, for game wise, I mean, Texas opened here 4-63, and we sit 4-63.5. It's a good handle game for us. Washington can throw, they throw the football. Texas throws the football. Here we sit with a total of 63.5. I don't know. I don't have a sense of this total here. I mean, the obvious thing would say, oh yeah, it's going to fly away over that. But for whatever reason, I think this is going to be a fairly low-scoring game. It's going to be a good game. I don't know how good Texas is right now, and I don't know how good Washington is right now. I think the layoffs hurt these two teams more so than it does Alabama, Michigan. It's going to be interesting, and we're going to be pulling for Washington here.
All right, Matty, what do you got?
I like the under as my best bet on this game.
Ooh.
I'm going to root for Washington. Here's why I like the under. I don't trust Sarkisian. The Texas D only gives up 17.5 points per game. They give up 80 rushing yards per game. That is not Washington's strength, so I think they'll even give up less rushing yards per game and make Washington completely one-dimensional, and we'll see how that plays. However, the Washington D is 120th versus the pass, which is not good, and Ewers actually has some great targets with Worthy. So I think Texas can score. I don't think they're going to score a ton. I think this is probably going to be a 30 to 28 type of game. I think this does go under, and Texas is 5-8 on the year against the unders, and this is actually their largest total of the year, which is surprising for them playing in the Big 12. So I'm going to play the under on this one.
All right, I love this Washington team. I think they have the better quarterback. Now, Matt, I agree with you here. Here's the thing with this. You got Johnson, this kid out of Washington, against Oregon in the championship. 28 carries, 152 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like you said, Texas can really stop the run. They gave up 31 yards to Oklahoma State in the conference championship game. Gordon had 34 yards, best running back maybe in the country. Then they gave up 110 to Texas Tech, 9 against Iowa State, 88 against TCU. They can really shut down the run. So I don't know there. Washington's going to have to spread it out, I think. You got to get moving a little bit, spread out. They got 2 dynamite wide receivers. Penix, I think, is the best. I love this kid. The accuracy is unbelievable. Texas, like you said, has so many weapons. Now, I disagree. I think this one's a little higher scoring. Now, could you get it a little bit, some nerves and some tightness, and they know what they're playing for? Maybe. Absolutely. I think this one's a little bit more higher scoring, but I like Washington. You're going to give me some plus points with this. I love the quarterback play with Washington over Texas, so that's where I'm going.
Who would have thought that you would be on 2 northern teams, Michigan and Washington? I mean, that's not a shocker, Smitty.
I've kind of liked this Washington team all year, and I do like the Texas team. I mean, I think Texas is going to be able to run the ball. Can Washington hold up? The offensive line, Texas might just be a little bit bigger up front. That might power them a little bit on that. But I think, again, if you're going to give me some points in this, if it's 4, I think it's 4 right now, 4.5, I'm going to take a chance with that. We'll see where it goes by Monday. I'm not putting any bets in until probably closer to game time and everything like that. Because like I said, the Michigan game, that's my team. I want them to win. I got a ticket already in Bama to win the national championship. So I'm not going to lose sleep. I mean, it is what it is. And there's only 4 teams, and 2 teams have to win, and they move on, and that's the way it is. Matty, you got it.
I'll say one thing. By 8:30, I'm either going to be extremely happy or probably heavily intoxicated in despair.
Well, I'll be pissed off because I got to go back to work the next day. So I'm going to enjoy the Michigan game, and I'll try to stay up and watch. Which I probably will because I just like sports. And
well, I have to work that day, but needless to say, by that time I'm going to have it shut down. So
yeah. All right. Hey, real quick, before we let him out, man, because I know he's a busy guy and we really appreciate him coming on. We do have a late game tonight. You got Oklahoma, Arizona. Is there any thought process on this one, Jic Jac, for you?
Bet-wise, we're being bet evenly here. It's right where it opened up at. It opened up 2.5, 62.5. We're at 2.5, 59.5. So the totals dropped down, a few ticks. But I know some sharp money is on Arizona here. So I would go with. I'm not. I don't have a feeling one way or the other. I think Oklahoma can score some points. Haven't watched Arizona play a whole lot this year personally, but I'd probably go with the sharp guys here, Arizona.
Matty, you got to play this.
Yeah, I actually agree with Carl. I actually love Arizona in this one. I would probably just bet them to win outright. Don't lay those points. And I really like the over. I think this one gets into a shootout. And the backup for Oklahoma, I'm not sure of his name, but he is a big-time recruit, supposedly with a big-time arm and pedigree. So I think he'll jump right in there and do well. And I think this does get into shootout territory. I actually think this could go over, and I won't be shocked if this actually gets to overtime and goes way over.
I kind of like Arizona. I just think this is a team that what a story. I mean, what a great job he's done. I mean, this program was bad. This was a bad program. Oklahoma has a couple guys out. I just think this is a good spot. I'd lean, and I might take this here still tonight. I'm on Kansas State here. The game going on right now. I got to see what the score is there, but I would probably do a money line play with Arizona. So, hey, Carl, thank you so much, man. We really, really appreciate your time. We know you're a busy guy, and I know you do a lot of different shows and stuff. So thank you so much for coming on with us tonight.
Hey, yeah, anytime, guys. Always good to talk to you guys. We enjoy it. We're getting that time of the year where we're tired. We're looking for some off days. But good luck to you guys. You guys be careful. Have a great first of the year, and we'll see you in 2024.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Carl. Be safe.
Yeah, Happy New Year, buddy. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye, guys.
See you, Carl.
All right. The great Carl Jic Jac Johnson with us, and just such a great friend to the show, man. We really appreciate his info and his time. He's been a guy that's come on with us multiple times, and we appreciate it. So good info there. Matty, what do you think? Matty, I'm going to jump in. I'm sorry. Then you can chime in. What did you think of him saying Michigan's going to just roll Bama? Were you shocked on that?
Yeah, I'm flabbergasted. I almost spit out whatever I had in my mouth this time. So I didn't expect that to come. I'm going to say one thing about Jic Jac. I would put on my bucket list. I'd like to sit by a lake or a river and fish with that dude one day and just hear some of his stories.
Yeah, I'd like to hang out with Jic Jac.
Yeah, even down on the bayou and have some gumbo.
Yeah, get a gumbo, a little cocktail. I bet he could tell some stories.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
all right, let's go.
He's a good guy. Okay, let's go.
Buddy.
All right, man. Hey, Matt Smith, man, here we go. NFL time. Thursday night, week 17. Jets, Cleveland. 7.5, 34.5. I'm going to cough here. All right, Matty. No Cooper. He's out.
Yep.
What do you have here tonight? I do have a play on this game. I'm going to let you take after this. You know, these Thursday night games, the trend, here's the covers trend over team total for Cleveland's been doing. Hey, Joe Flacco, what a great story, man. I mean, this guy was sitting on the couch watching Netflix trying to get a TV job, and now all he's done is come in and he's just blown it up. And he's just throwing, I mean, over 300 yards every week. Did have 3 picks last week, 2 touchdowns, though. Big win. The team is just pumped about him. The city's pumped. What do you have tonight, man? Do you think, can the Jets hang in this game?
I want to say, I'm going to spin it differently, bro. You just think about what the Browns did at quarterback. And if they could have kept Baker Mayfield in the year he's having, what a disaster this Deshaun Watson trade could turn out to be. And I'm actually not sad. We all know DeMar Hamlin is going to win NFL Comeback Player of the Year. But how could you not put Baker and Joe Flacco, both tied to the Browns, somehow, some way, shape, or form as your pick? I think both of them should win it. I think Kevin Stefanski's going to win Coach of the Year. Now, with Cooper out tonight, we're going to go back to the actual game. I think the Jets can keep this within 7.5. I would grab the Jets plus the points, and I for sure would take the under, which means this one's probably going to go over by halftime and burn me like Pryor, and one other game that recently happened, which I'm forgetting about. So, yeah, give me the Jets plus 7.5 and give me the under.
Okay, I got some numbers. Primetime dogs are 26 and 24, 52% this year. The unders are 32, 31, primetime under 60%. Now, they do have a little bit of wind here tonight. 10 to 12 mile per hours, over 10 mile per hours, 133, 72, 65% since 2021. You got the Browns 7-1 at home. Jets are 2-4 on the road. I did play a little tight end, Njoku or whatever his name is. I got it at 48.5 receiving yards earlier this morning, minus 115. I did do that. I really like it now, Matt, with Cooper out. Get him the ball. He's been throwing the ball to him a lot. Let's hit that. What I did tonight, everybody, where's my bet card tonight? I do have Cleveland. I have a little teaser action tonight on Thursday night in the NFL. I have Cleveland minus 1.5, and I have the under at 40. That is my play tonight. Get it in. It's 8:05 right now. Hey, Scott, we got to fix this clock in here, man. I keep looking up here. It's saying 9. I'm getting all confused now. I don't even know what day it is, man. When you're not working, you get really confused, like what day it is, too, and everything. Now I'm getting confused with the time. But, hey, let's jump on that. Let's get a winner, everybody, here on that. But go Joe Flacco. What a great story. Hey, Matty, I'm going to jump really quick before we move on here. Why do you think that's a slam dunk with comeback player of the year with Hamlin?
It's the feel-good story. I mean, the line is minus 300 or whatever still, which means they know something we don't. I think it was written in stone as soon as he came back. Even though has he even played a full game? Has he even dressed?
I think he's played like 11 stuff. Hey, I'll tell you, I got to look it up. Will Hill, our really good friend, he does a new podcast, and he had a guest on 2 days ago and really went into this. And, he was trying to, it is a great story. The guy died on the field, but he hasn't played a lot. I mean, it's tough. I'll go on Joe Flacco. How about Baker Mayfield? This guy was bouncing around from everywhere. He's on a team right now that they might win the division. He's throwing for 400 yards.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what they said, Matt? They're like, what's the criteria? I mean, there's really no, I think you said it, man. We're in a Disney movie. Hate to say it. After school special, Hallmark movie. It's a great story. And I'm not trying to, the guy died on the field. I'm glad he's still playing. But Joe Flacco, man, he's putting up numbers. All right, let's move on here. Saturday, 8:15. Lions, Dallas. Man, Dallas so close. I had them money line. Took the lead. Defense, 15 yards off Hill. I mean, come on. All right, minus 4.5, 52.5 here. Matty, this is a different Dallas team when you get them at home.
Yep, sure is.
All right, let me hear it.
Dallas team. Yeah, different Dallas team, and Detroit clinching a division and a playoff spot screams letdown. I think, can't love it. I think this is an easy play on the Cowboys this week. I think they get it done. I think they cover the 5.5, even though that's the dead zone number. But I like Dallas at home. I think Dak will kind of sling it around a lot. They do need to figure out their run game still, and they kind of need to give the defense a rest. Like Parsons is kind of getting beat up and tired. So hopefully they can get out to a big lead, maybe sit some guys. Hopefully Detroit doesn't get a backdoor cover, but I do like Dallas covering the 5 here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. So we had that on in the house. It was Christmas Eve. My mother even said, I was downstairs. I came up. I had the Red Zone channel down on the computer. So I was kind of bouncing up and down floors, and they were hanging out. And my mom's like, do they run the ball at all, Dallas? I'm like, they did in the first drive. They were giving to the fullback, and then he fumbles at the goal line. Bad exchange there. That was a killer play. But, yeah, I kind of agree. They really need, I think, to run the ball a little bit more. But this is a different machine when you get them at home. Here's the trend from covers. And we've been saying it now for a couple weeks when they're at home. Team total over, they're just money at home. I mean, they are. They just put on a ton of points. Detroit, their secondary is a little iffy. And I think Matt said a great thing, and I have it down in my notes, but he said they won the division already. Or division. They won their division. This could be a letdown spot. And I think Dallas is going to be fired up. I really do. They were right in that game. I think they're going to put up a lot of points. I think they cover this. I think they beat the Lions. All right, moving on. Let's go 1 p.m. Sunday. Here's Matty's team. So I can't wait. I like his rants, and I like his pontoon Ron comments here. You got San Francisco coming into DC here, minus 12.5, 49.5. The trend is, San Francisco, they have 8 wins this year by 16 or more points. Matty, this is a team that, they came back again. You had Brissett that came in 2 straight weeks and brought a good comeback. Howell did not play well last week. And I know you said just roll them out. And I think if you're a Commanders fan, do you want them to win at all? No, you want them to lose. But they're going to go with Brissett. Overall, what's your thought on this game? And overall, what's your thought on maybe the draft, where they're going? Is Howell going to be back next year? So just go at it, my friend.
So this will be a minimal rant, but we're gonna play a little game in honor of paddle boat, pontoon boat, Ron Rivera. Smitty, you're gonna get your answer quick. The trivia game tonight is: are these Washington Redskin Commander football team quarterbacks, or are these people I went to high school with? Contestant 1, Kerry Conklin.
I'd say Kerry Conklin. You went to high school with?
Nope. Washington Commander quarterback.
Okay.
All right. Contestant number 2.
Okay.
Todd Collins.
Oh, that's a Commander quarterback. That's a Michigan guy.
Okay, yeah, I had to give you a layup there.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Contestant number 3, Garrett Gilbert.
That's a quarterback for the Commanders. He went to the University of Texas.
Correct. How awful! There is. I think
he transferred. He might have been at SMU too.
Yeah, since 1993, you actually sent this over. There's 36 different Commanders quarterbacks. Awful, just awful what they got going on down there. The glory days are long gone, and I don't see anything on the horizon. I still remember when Q said, "How excited are you that Snyder's gone?" I was like, "Not very." Because they're still bad. The GM's bad. The coach is bad. Howell started out on fire, threw the ball around, was leading the league in passing. Just not good. This is a bad team. They should play Sam Howell these last games and see what they have, especially if a new coach is watching. I'm surprised the GM or the ownership group didn't step in and say, hey, look, play Howell, and let's see what he can showcase for us. Do we need to go a different way in the draft? And if they do get a top 5 pick, it will be a quarterback. And after that, it better just be offensive lineman, offensive lineman, offensive lineman. They have good enough skill players to get it done. And one of the 2 D linemen, I think, will get traded too. So it's either Allen or Payne will go. Who's got the better cap numbers will be next. As for betting this game, God, I think San Francisco is going to be pissed. And I think they're going to really put it on them. I actually think San Francisco covers this massive number, which is 13.
Man,
I'm done with that rant.
I'll tell you, that was a great spot there. That first name you threw out, I mean, I sent you over the list, and I did go through the list. I just didn't. I would have thought that was a guy that, like, you ate lunch with.
Yeah. No.
The other 2 I was good on, but it's been bad. It's been bad. I agree with you. I mean, I don't really like taking big lines. I'm more of the teaser king. I had a really good last weekend with teasers, and I did some money line. I'm a big money line guy, and teaser plays in the NFL. And this one, I think. Okay, so I'm gonna throw this. So you have a Purdy ticket too, and he had a really bad game against Baltimore last week. And now Lamar Jackson right now is the favorite. How about if he comes back and let's say he throws 4 touchdowns, Matt, and which is very possible against his really bad defense, especially secondary. Let's say Jackson struggles because we're going to break this game down here in a second. They play Miami coming up, and which is just a big game on Sunday. Could Purdy get back into this, or do you just think? Because if you listen to all these shows, everybody just doesn't want to give it to Purdy because they go, it's the system. And he has McCaffrey and he has Samuel and Kittles and the other wide receiver. I can't think of his name right now, and it's hard pronouncing. I can't. What's his name?
Brandon Ayuk.
Ayuk. Yeah, thank you. And it's all that. Can he get back into this? Would it be okay right now? Like someone like me, Matt, I want your advice. Someone like me, I have not had a ticket on any of that. And I'm really rooting for you because you got that in the summer. Should I throw a little pizza money on maybe Purdy coming back and maybe winning this?
Well, this is kind of a two-part question. Can he? Yes, but there's some steep criteria. So I believe at the beginning of last week, Purdy was like minus 180 as the MVP favorite, and Lamar was close in tow at like plus 180. Now, after last week, it's completely flipped, and Lamar is like minus 280, and Purdy's all the way down to like 13-1. That's too big of a drop, but that's a great number to potentially get. I actually think the Dolphins are going to beat Baltimore, but you need Lamar to stumble. And if he stumbles, then the door opens back up for Purdy, who could throw 5, maybe 6 touchdowns against Washington this week. And I think the other key here, though, is Josh Allen is on a hot run with the Bills. And I do have a 22-1 ticket on him, which I'm still excited about. I'm still excited about my Purdy ticket. There's 2 weeks left and a lot to do. Nobody's clinched this top seed. There's a lot to go. Baltimore can stumble. I don't think they will really stumble. So it's more so Lamar's to lose than it is Purdy's to win, if that makes any sense. So I would put a little fun money on it. It gives you a little rooting interest.
No, I like it. I don't have a ticket. And like I said, I was one in the Major League Baseball throwing a little pizza money on Snell to win the Cy Young, which was a good winner for me too. I had the Alabama one. It's kind of fun to jump in these. I think Purdy, if he has a big game, but the problem, like I just said, if you listen to all these shows, it's just so many people don't think he deserves it.
Yep.
And, you could look at McCaffrey too, Matt, but it's hard. Yeah. It's hard to give it to a running back. And that's the problem anymore. They don't want to give it. It's always quarterback. And Ken just said, hey, Matthew Stafford creeping in the MVP race. Hey, Ken, I'm gonna chime in with something here. I'm gonna get through these games really quick at the end. Man, I want to ask Matty about taking a flyer on some teams to maybe get in the Super Bowl or in the Super Bowl. That Rams team, keep an eye on. Great comment, Ken. All right, Matty, you brought the game up here. Miami, Baltimore. Here's the covers.com trend. Baltimore is 12-3 ATS first half. They're unbelievable. Miami's 11-4. Baltimore's 12-3. 10-5 ATS both teams. Miami's coming off a big win. So is Baltimore. And I'll tell you what, I know this is not a dog play, but if you look at the numbers, if Baltimore is ever a dog, man, Jackson is the man. Baltimore is just unbelievable. I lost that one. I had the points down and under, and I had San Francisco down to win. Man, Baltimore is just great as a dog. So is Lamar Jackson. Okay, Matty, you think Miami's going to have... I think it's a great teaser spot. I would take Miami up in this one. Waddle is out. It seems like he's not playing in this, but Hill looks good. I think they're getting the running backs back. I think Tua's going to do enough. I think this, coming off a big win, I think it's always a good letdown spot. I think it's a great teaser spot. I would take Miami up in a teaser. What do you have?
I like Miami outright as the dog to win. So Mike McDaniel is from the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree. So Baltimore just beat San Francisco. I guarantee you McDaniel had 19 nerd dudes sitting in a dark room just scheming up crazy stuff. Be like, hey, well, we can't do this. We can't do that. Look what Baltimore literally punched San Francisco in the mouth, who typically does the punching in the mouth to people. I actually think it was still a tough game, but Baltimore definitely came out looking great on that one. But I think McDaniel can scheme up enough. Mostert's still a go. Chain's back at the other running back. Waddle is out, but they have Cedric Wilson. They could use another weapon. I'm not sure who they're going to sneak in there. I don't know if Braxton Berrios is quite a weapon. But look for something crazy. I think the Dolphins can get it done, and I think it's a huge push for them because that puts them right behind Baltimore, I believe, for the 1 seed. And that's going to get interesting coming down the stretch because the Ravens then finish with their hated opponent last week, the Steelers.
Yeah. I mean, and we're going to go into that game next, especially if Pittsburgh wins on Sunday. So here we go. We got Sunday, 4 p.m. or 4:25, whatever it is. You got the Steelers, the trend, second half, just unders. They don't score a lot in the second half, teams with the Steeler games here. But you got Pittsburgh dogs against Seattle. I mean, both teams here, they got to win this. I mean, both teams have to win this. This is a playoff game right here on Sunday. You got Mason Rudolph finally got some snaps. He did very well, 17 out of 27, 290, 2 touchdowns. George Pickens, after his little hissy fit, had a big game, 4 catches, 195 yards. Harris actually ran the ball really well. They got the ball to Robinson. He spread the ball out a little bit in that game. Warren had some catches. You know, they played a zone. Their secondary's really banged up, Pittsburgh. I mean, no Fitzpatrick. The other guy suspended. They brought a guy from a practice squad up. He had an interception. Peterson's playing a safety position now that he's never did ever in his career. They played zone. They confused Browning. Now, Seattle, Geno, 25 out of 36 last week, 2 touchdowns. You got some good wide receivers. You got Lockett. You got Metcalf. You got Smith, the kid out of Ohio State. You know, this scares me a little bit with the secondary with Pittsburgh in this. But as a dog, I've said this before, and I'm not a big Mike Tomlin guy. They are great. They play well on the road, and they're great as a dog. I love the teaser spot for Pittsburgh in this. Get them up to about 9.5, 10 points. I think this game is very close. I'm not saying they're going to win. I think it's close. Matty, what do you got?
I'm staying away. This is a bad play for me. I don't have any skin in it. I think your teaser play is a really smart move, especially if you can get it all the way up to double digits. I mean, you're right about Tomlin and these road dogs, but I still think that Steeler team is awful. Their defense is not elite. The offense definitely isn't elite, even though they broke out last week. They got Pickens the ball. I think they can hang in this one for sure. I think this is an ugly game. Maybe look for a 19-17 type game. I mean, the total's 41. I would actually lean the over or the under and see what the weather is like out there too, especially if you get an ugly rainstorm.
All right, here we go. Sunday night, Green Bay, Minnesota. You got a lot of action in this one today. Mullins got benched today. I think they're going with Hall. I think he's a rookie.
Yeah.
And Mullins was not, I mean, he threw for over 400 yards last week, but I mean, I had him in a little contest I'm in. I went 2-1 and I needed Minnesota. It just kept throwing picks. I mean, just kept throwing INTs. It was driving me crazy. No Addison. There's a good chance he's not playing. The tight end Hawkinson's out also. Matty, you know, I'm going to say I forgot his play last week. So I'm gonna mention it now before I get going here. Old man in the garage, he loves this game. He loves the Packers. He thinks Packers are gonna win this game outright. I kind of agree with him. I kind of like Green Bay in this. I like where Love. I think I like where Love's going as a quarterback. They have good numbers in December. I know. What day is this going to be? It's still going to be in December. Yeah, when this game is. I just like where he's going. Jordan Love, I think right now is a very good quarterback, and I think he's doing. Jones had a big game last week, 21 carries, 127 yards. You know, Love last week, 17 out of 28, 219, 2 touchdowns. I just don't know about the quarterback situation for Minnesota. What do you have in this one?
Perfect segue. I love the Packers. This is down to a pick. Grab it now. It's going to flip-flop. Jaren Hall is the quarterback. Now, he played really well, but he only played for a quarter, then he got a concussion. He was 8 of 10 for 101 yards. You said it, no Addison probably. So this is actually a game where I love player props. I love Aaron Jones over receiving and rushing yards. I love over catches for Justin Jefferson. Jair Alexander, their best corner, got suspended for Green Bay. What a jabroni he is. And I also like a guy named Johnny Munt to catch a touchdown for the Vikings. He's going to be Hawkinson's replacement. It's probably going to be a huge number. And for fun, I might even throw on him getting the first touchdown and see what that pays. But I do like Old Man in the Garage. I'd take the Packers money line and then grab a couple of player props. I think this is going to be a fun game.
Yeah, I like it. I think, oh, man, Cleveland already 7-0. Went right down the field. Right down the field. I don't know what happened. I have it up here. Let's see. Jerome Ford.
There was a tip ball. Jerome Ford scored, but big play to Njoku off a tip. He got down the middle.
Oh, good. Good. Get that over receiving yards for me here. So, again, hey, Matty, before we bounce here, any live bets tonight? I got a lot late. I have a lot going on tonight. Thursday night, nothing else going on break. Let's get out some action here. Okay, I have a lot tonight. I'm on Cleveland, like I said, -1.5, under 40. So, hey, let's don't show off, everybody. Take some knees, run the ball up the middle with some fullbacks. Let's slow this game down a little bit. All right, here we go. I gave out on Sharp Angle Syndicate. I gave out Cleveland State tonight. That was a 7 p.m. tip. They're up by about 18 at the half, so that's looking good. That was my best bet of the day in hoops. I have Oregon tonight. These are all 9 p.m. games. Okay? I know the clock says in here 9:26, but it's 8:26. Scott's laughing at me, okay? I'm trying to keep everything going here. Okay, so we got Oregon tonight, -145. I got this morning against USC. I got Eastern Washington moneyline -150 against Portland State. Idaho moneyline -150 against Sacramento State. And then I got Idaho State money line -125 against Montana State tonight. And I think I'm going to jump in with the Arizona college play tonight in football. I just have a feeling that they're going to beat Oklahoma.
I have one NFL play I'm going to throw out for now.
Let's go.
And especially for Matt Smith, the Bills laying 13 against New England. I think that's this is one of those weeks where our team's going to shut it down. New England just put Ramondre Stevenson on the IR, so Zeke's going to get all the carries, maybe some other backup guys getting in there. Bailey Zappi's still a quarterback, but it's in Buffalo. Give me the Bills minus the 13, but I like Tampa Bay.
Oh, I love that.
To beat the Saints money line. Lay a little bit of juice. It's probably about 140, maybe a little less than that.
Lay the juice. Who cares? Lay the juice.
Yeah. I think Tampa, man, they can win that division. They have a sneaky good run defense, which should slow down Kamara and check down David Carr, Derek Carr, whoever the heck is that quarterback right now. I mean, he's just going to fling it out to Kamara and some other bums out there on the side. Just eliminate Olave, and you're good to go. I think this is Dennis Allen's swan song in New Orleans. I think he gets his walking papers at the end of the year. Buccaneers win.
Hey, I saw on X today, Matt, Saints have not played an outside game since week 5. Now listen, they're playing in Tampa. I'm not saying it's like going to be 6 degrees out, but they're outside since week 5. That's something. So Matt again says, go Bills. Hey, go Bills. I love that team. Okay, so Matty, we got like 2 minutes here before we bounce. Here's my question to you. I want you to pick a team, AFC, NFC, that you think that could get maybe, let's just win the whole thing. That's not like, I don't want to hear San Francisco. I don't want to hear Baltimore or Miami. I want somebody that could be a little different. Who's a team if in the AFC that could go on, like Cincy did a couple years ago and got in the Super Bowl? I think they were like the 6th seed. Steelers have been the 6th seed back in the day when I think there was only 6 teams that got in or whatever it was, and they got into the Super Bowl. Who's your AFC, NFC teams that you think could make a run?
AFC is a no-brainer for me. It's Buffalo. Josh Allen, they've learned they can run the ball, which they've needed to do. So if you have James Cook, Latavius Murray, Ty Johnson, and now they have playoff Lenny back there, I think they're good. Diggs has been quiet this year, and that's not going to continue. He's going to start getting the ball, and it's going to open up more things for the run game. Their defense, man, if they didn't lose White, the safeties, and Milano, I think that team would probably be the 1 seed in the AFC. I think they can get hot, and they can play in the outdoors, so that's not a problem. And then the NFC, I'm going to go back to Tampa Bay. because I think Baker can sling it around. The problem is I hate Tampa Bay's head coach, even though he does have a lot of history, and he's coached for a long time, so he knows how to win. I'm just not a big fan of him. Their defense, though, can stop the run, can't stop the pass. The problem is that's huge in the NFC because the Lions can really sling the ball. The Eagles can throw it down the field. Dallas can really throw it, and so can the Niners. So the easy pick are those top three in the NFC. But if you want a long shot, I'm going to go Tampa Bay. But who knows? They might not even get in if they lose this week. So that's it.
All right, I'm going to go. Ken just said Bills Rams. I'm going to go with Ken. I love your Bills play. I think Bills are a very dangerous team, and I like this Rams team. I really do.
I do too.
I mean,
he's really right. He's really right though about that MVP. If this wasn't a year where like Jackson, Purdy, and these other guys were lighting it up, man, Stafford's having a great year, and anytime he plays, they win. And the Jets just scored. Jeez, oh Lord.
Oh man, we got to get that win. That win needs to really kick up. Let's go.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I told you this over is probably going to hit.
It's going to be like the Chargers Raiders 2 weeks ago.
Yep, no.
That was like 60. No, I'm right with Ken. I like the Bills and I like the Rams. You look at the Rams. They have a great head coach, quarterback that's done it. They got major weapons. They got the running back that's starting to really run the ball extremely well in the system right now. I think they're going to be okay. I think that's a good little flyer on that. I like your Tampa. That's thinking out of the box, too. Go with one of those pizza plays to try to win a lot of money, too. I mean, Mike Evans and everything. Hey, keep an eye. I heard on a show today, Mike Evans, could be his last game in Tampa, and he's just short with some being the all-time scoring leader there. Keep an eye on some player props with him, maybe catches over yards, maybe some touchdowns. They might force the ball to him this weekend. So that's a little nugget that I heard on a show I want to give out to our audience here. So,
hey, real quick, I want to throw something at you. Since you're a diehard Steelers guy.
Yeah.
So the betting favorite already, Russell Wilson.
No, I already did the puke face to about 5 people yesterday.
I'm just saying, but how are the Steelers the betting favorite for him to go there? I can't see it. I can't ever see them making that move.
No. I don't see it. I've heard the Commanders too today, Matt.
Oh God.
I mean, I just think it'd be a train wreck there too. I heard the Raiders. I heard the Giants. Man, I'm losing the other team, but no, Pittsburgh. Here's the thing with Pittsburgh, and I'll say, if Mason plays really well this week and then next week, I think you got to give him a contract and say, come in and compete against Kenny and roll it. Or you got to then draft somebody in like the 4th round, a younger guy, and bring in and just say, Russell, there's no reason to bring that in. That team's not a Super Bowl contending team yet. Could they be in the playoffs next year? Maybe. I mean, they're close again this year, but are they a Super Bowl contending team? No, they're not. I mean, and we've said it on the show. There's not a lot of teams that are, I don't think. I mean, right now, Matt, I'm going to throw this out, and then we're going to bounce here. Kansas City. Now, Kansas City, could they? Yeah, they've been there, but do they look like a Super Bowl contending team?
No, they need a year. They need a year off. They're on a huge epic run. It's kind of like they're tired. They haven't retooled properly. Their O-line's a mess. They're not a contender this year.
And Russell just not doing it, man. I'd rather just see Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph battle it next year than Russell Wilson. That would just be. You
might get your wish.
That's garbage. I mean, that guy's not that good. The guy's not that good anymore. So, all right, everybody. Hey, Ken, Matt, if I'm missing anybody in the chat, man, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We really, really appreciate it. And everybody, have a great holiday, safe holiday, New Year's Eve coming up here. And Matty, any final words here before we bounce?
I do not have anything. Big weekend ahead. Hit us up on X and let us know your thoughts, likes, anything. We'll hit you back.
Yeah, always pass this show on to 5 more people, and we're going to grow this thing. Hey, Matty, we do have one more thing to say. What do we always say?
Hey, everybody, bang your bookies.
Thanks for listening to the Notebook Wagering Podcast. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any episodes, and be sure to follow @Notebook Wagering. Until next time.